A scream ripped through the night, shattering the stillness that had settled over the village. It echoed across the moon-drenched plains, bouncing off the mud huts of the village, reverberating through the hearts of those who heard it. The villagers stirred, fear twisting in their bellies like a serpent. They exchanged anxious glances, their faces pale in the moonlight. Such sounds were not for the night. They were for mourning, for the times when the village gathered to grieve together. Inside his hut, the village elder, a man as old as the baobab tree, woke with a start. His heart raced as he tried to make sense of the chaos outside. He grabbed his staff, its top carved with the face of a wise owl, a symbol of his wisdom and authority, and hurried out into the night. The air hung heavy with dread. It clung to him like cobwebs, making each step feel like a struggle against an unseen force. He followed the sound, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest, each beat echoing the urgency of the situation. He found her by the watering hole, a young woman with eyes like startled gazelles, wide and filled with terror. She was beautiful, draped in a simple cotton dress, but her face was streaked with tears, her sobs breaking the silence of the night. Her fingers clutched a necklace made of bone and beads, a family heirloom that now seemed to offer little comfort. On the ground before her lay a man, his limbs twisted at unnatural angles, a sight that made the elder's stomach churn. He was no ordinary man. The intricate gold embroidery on his tunic spoke of royalty, of a life lived in luxury and power. The elder's blood ran cold as realization dawned upon him. This was Prince Adewale, son of the king, heir to the throne, a beacon of hope for the future of their people. The prince who only yesterday had arrived with promises of prosperity, with smiles that disarmed even the wariest hearts, bringing joy and hope to the village. And now, he lay dead, his lifeless body a stark contrast to the vibrant life he had embodied. The elder looked from the prince's lifeless form to the woman's tear-stained face. What had happened here? The question hung in the air, heavy and unanswered as the night seemed to close in around them. Prince Adewale had been loved by his people. From the moment he was born, the villagers had seen him as a beacon of hope, a symbol of a brighter future. He was known for his kindness, his wisdom that belied his young age. His actions spoke louder than words, and his heart was always open to those in need. When he announced his intention to experience life beyond the palace walls, to immerse himself in the daily lives of his people, to live among the villagers, to understand their struggles, his father, the king, had reluctantly agreed. The king, though hesitant, saw the determination in his son's eyes and knew he could not hold him back. Adewale had been drawn to the simplicity of village life, to the warmth of the people. He found solace in their genuine smiles and heartfelt conversations. He had traded his silken robes for rough cotton, his crown for a simple headband. This transformation was not just in attire but in spirit, as he embraced the essence of humility. He worked alongside the villagers, shared their meals, listened to their stories. Each day, he learned something new, something profound about the human spirit. He learned their ways, their struggles, their dreams. The villagers, in turn, found a friend in their prince, someone who truly cared about their well-being. It was during one such gathering that he first saw her. She stood out, not just because of her beauty, but because of the energy she radiated. She was dancing, her body moving with the grace of a gazelle, her laughter echoing like wind chimes. Her movements were fluid, mesmerizing, and filled with joy. Her name, he learned, was Abini, and she was as radiant as the morning sun. Abini was different. She had a presence that was both calming and invigorating. She possessed a quiet strength, a wisdom that shone through her eyes. Her gaze was steady, and her words were filled with insight and depth. She spoke of ancient traditions, of forgotten gods, of injustices that ran deep within the land. Her voice carried the weight of history and the promise of change. Adewale found himself drawn to her, captivated by her spirit, her stories. He felt a connection, a bond that was inexplicable yet undeniable. He did not notice the shadows that lurked in her eyes, the flicker of something cold and hard beneath the surface. There was a mystery about her, something that intrigued and unsettled him at the same time. Days melted into weeks, weeks into months, and the passage of time seemed to blur the lines between reality and dreams. Adebayo found himself spending more and more time with Abeni, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. They would walk along the riverbank, his hand brushing against hers, a silent promise of unspoken feelings. He listened, enthralled, as she spoke of her dreams, her longing for a life beyond the village, a life filled with adventure and purpose. He confided in her, sharing his own dreams for his kingdom, his desire for justice and prosperity for all, hoping she would be part of that future. Abeni would listen, her head tilted, her eyes reflecting the moonlight, as if absorbing every word he said. She was a balm to his soul, a confidant, a lover, someone who seemed to understand him like no one else ever had. Unbeknownst to Adebayo, Abeni harbored a secret, a dark and dangerous secret that could shatter their world. A venomous serpent coiled in her heart, fueled by a generations-old injustice, waiting for the right moment to strike. Her family had once been the rightful rulers of the land, stripped of their birthright by Adebayo's ancestors, a legacy lost to time. She had grown up listening to tales of their downfall, of their stolen legacy, stories that had been etched into her very soul. Her heart hardened, turning love into a weapon, her beauty into a tool for revenge, a means to an end. She would have her vengeance, a vengeance that had been brewing for years, waiting for the perfect moment to be unleashed. She would reclaim what was rightfully hers, the power and the throne that had been unjustly taken from her family. And Adebayo, blinded by love, was the key, the unwitting pawn in her intricate game of deception and retribution.